सिद्धः महोदय.
I stopped where we had to discuss two very important words. That was about polygamy and polyandry. That was the point where I had left. So from there, let me pick up and continue. The words polygamy and polyandry have no meaning at all in animal world. In animal world, an animal will copulate and live with many females or one female with many males. It's not really a problem there. It's so natural for them. And there is no question of what you call incest. You have heard of the word incest? I-N-C-E-S-T, incest. Incest means the relationships, the sexual relationships between those which will cause problems. So we call it incestuous. So incestuous relationships are prohibited. These prohibitions are for human beings, not for animals. There's no question of incest. There's no question of polygamy. There is no question of polyandry. A male copulates with a female. That's the end of it. Other restrictions are not there. Now, why it is so there and why it is not applicable to human society? That's a very important observation to find. The purpose of coming together in case of animals is just for reproduction. That's the end of it. Just for reproduction, nothing else. So whatever knowledge is required, whatever situation is there, and reproduction is possible when one male and one female meet. That's the end of it. They beget their offsprings, they beget their issues. Reproduction is the only purpose there, nothing else. So there's no question of polygamy or polyandry or incestuous or anything like that. But when you come to human beings, we have got not just reproduction as a purpose, we do have several other things also attached to the physical relationship of a male and a female. It's not just physical. We've got three dimensions, which you have to understand very clearly. One dimension physical, of course, because we are also basically animals. But we don't stop there. In animal world, it stops there. In human world, we don't stop there. We've got another dimension, known as the mental dimension. So here, it's not just the meeting of two bodies, but it is also a meeting of two minds. We stop there? No, we don't stop there even. We move one more ahead, that is meeting of the souls. The human instrument is capable of managing all the three dimensions. But in animal world, it is capable of, the very structure of an animal is capable of handling just one dimension, that's the physical one, and reproduction is the end of it. Now, this difference between other animals and human beings, we have to understand very, very clearly. Unless we understand this, we will not be able to lead a very healthy life, a peaceful life, a calm life. It's a very, very important thing. Now, this is what exactly Vedas speak about. Now, this is where Vedas play a very, very important role in our life. Where Veda is not there, in all other cultures other than Vedic culture, or where there is no influence of Vedic culture, in all such places, they don't worry about polyandry or polygamy or one man to many wives, or one wife and many husbands, not even wife, male to female. They are very free. They are very free. They are casual. They don't worry at all. If it's a male, if it's a female, if they want to have sex, yes, they will have it. That's the end of it. No restrictions. It means, though they are in human form, unfortunately, they are living like animals. That's the problem. A human being is supposed to live like a human being. An animal is supposed to live like an animal. An animal cannot live like a human being. But a human being, if he doesn't apply his mind, he can live like an animal, and that's what is happening in different other cultures. Say it's a free and permissible society. What is it, free and permissible society? It's all unhealthy thing what they are doing. They are forgetting the other very two important dimensions, and they are leading life as though they are just animals. It's a basic instinct. Agreed. It's a basic instinct. Sex is a basic instinct. That's fine. But when the animal beings stop there, human being cannot stop there. He has to proceed further. The human life is different. I make it very clear, even though if I say this, human life is not against sex, but it's sex plus something. Only sex is an animal. Only reproduction is an animal. Beyond that is what is known as human being. That makes all the difference. Samapo Hrudayani now is one piece of the Veda mantra. If I'm right, I have discussed about it. This we will discuss about that mantra when we come to this Vivaha Samskara. It says the intention of a male and female is not, repeat, is not just physical, but it is to fuse our hearts together. Fusing of hearts is very much essential in human beings. That fusion doesn't take place, but just stops at the physical level. Okay, there is pleasure in sex, I agree. But the pleasure in sex is very minimum when it's just physical. But as you consider all the three dimensions and then have the physical relationship, the experience, the happiness they get is the maximum that you can imagine. Because they are human beings. Something went wrong? The videos are not there?
I'm there, Mahodaya.
Okay, but yes, now I got it. It also says, Mana innau saha sati. The same Veda mantra. It says, Mana innau saha sati. Mana it now saha sati. Saha sati. That our minds be together. That our minds be together. That our hearts fuse. This is the instruction what Vedas gives. This is a very, very important thing, exclusively for human beings, especially for human beings.
Mahodaya? Mana it now
saha sati. Saha sati. Saha sati is one word. Saha sati. Let our minds be together. Let our hearts be fused. Mana in now. It now in now. Saha sati. I'll give the address when I actually go in detail and come to this mantra. This mantra we have to study in future. I don't point together. So at that point I'll give you full address and discuss about the whole mantra in detail. Here what I want to stress is the relationship between human beings is not just physical, but it is physical plus mental plus spiritual. That's the aspect what I'm stressing on. If it's just physical, it is like an animal. No restrictions, no bar. One female, one male is ready, and they just have sex and get away. Once again, they feel like having sex. One male searches for another female, a female searches for a male, and they have it and they're seeing that. It's not a long-term relationship. Long-term relationship. But even in the animal world, we see in some species, they have a long-term relationship. And they don't practice polygamy or polyandry. It is one male with one female, they live long together. Even in many species in birds and animals. But it is a minority. It's a minority there. Most of the animals, they have no restriction. They call it as heat. When they are in heat, a male goes for a female goes for a male, they'll have sex, that's the end of it. They depart. That's okay, excellent for animals. Excellent for animals. Because the purpose of their having sex is to get children. That's the end of it. To get progeny, reproduction. Reproduction is a purpose. Beyond that, there is no other purpose there. I've been telling again and again. The basic instincts in animals is nidra, ahara, bhaya, maithuna. That maithuna part is the reproduction. Then it stops. No continued relationship, except in some very peculiar species. But it cannot happen in the same way in human world, because we don't have one dimension. It's not that we have got only physical relationship. We have to think of the mental relationship, the spiritual relationship. We got 3 dimensions, and I'm only physical relationship is 1/3 of it. What about 2/3? Balance. It's a very serious thing that we have to think over. This makes a human being different from other animals. I'll proceed to the next step. The first thing what I'm trying to emphasize is on, in human life, it is not one dimension, but it is 3-dimensional. Physical thing is also there, mental thing also is to be considered, and the spiritual thing too is to be considered. This is a Vedic dictum, this is a Vedic guidance, and it's wonderful. Only when all the 3 things are taken care of, then the happiness out of sexual relationship will be the maximum. If you miss one, you miss 1/3 of its happiness. If you miss 2/3, you miss 2/3 of happiness. Physical thing, 1/3 will be satisfied. What could have been 100%, it becomes just 33%. Other 67% will lose it. But if we follow the Vedic way, yes, we can enjoy 100%. Now, this way I say, Vedas don't just preach renunciation. Vedas just don't preach getting away from this world, doing tapas somewhere in secludedly. No. It says live here, live well, enjoy well, be good, and perform your duty. Be along with the society throughout. Don't run away. If you run away, you're an escapist. Ma chitta small lokat. Don't sever yourself. Don't cut yourself from this world in whatever ashram you are. Be here, be here. Getting away, running away is not at all advocated in Vedas anywhere. Live here, fight here, and make yourself strong spiritually. That makes you eligible and deserving for experiencing peace and bliss. That's a clear-cut instruction in the Vedas. Here also the same thing. Now it says, okay, physical thing, there's no relationship at all except for that moment. To satiate, to satisfy one's physical, sexual need. That's all. But we go beyond it. We have to build up a mental relationship. We have to build a spiritual relationship. And building up of this mental and spiritual relationship is not an affair of few minutes, as in the physical thing. The physical relationship comes to an end within a few minutes. That's the end of it. Reproduction is possible within a few minutes. But I'm speaking of the mental relationship or a spiritual relationship between 2 persons. It is not one day's affair. It takes a lot of time, lot of effort, and lot of diligent agenda. Diligent and intelligent agenda it needs. And step by step, we have to achieve it. It's not one day's affair. So it is not one day's affair, but a process which turns into maybe several years also, Maybe if you don't know it, even the whole birth, you will make it a waste. You will not achieve it at all. But by knowing, yes, over years, we can achieve it. By knowing, being aware of the mental and spiritual dimension. And what happens? The relationship between a man and wife is not temporary, it's not temporal. It continues for years and years. It says in the very Vedas, Jaradashtir yathasaha, Jara is old age. We have to continue this process throughout until we grow old. Because the process is like that. It's not one day thing. And both should be at it continuously in developing, in bridging the mental and spiritual dimension. They have to work at it continuously. Now, this is possible only when two things happen. Only when two things happen. Number one, I shall work with you for this. I shall work with you for this. This understanding should be there between a male and a female. Now, to get into this understanding itself, what we call as Vivaha Samskara. We call it as marriage, wedding, anything like that. So only when they are bound in wedlock, yes, they can start doing this. If there is no wedlock, there is no binding. The two may do it, may not do it. They may be faithful to one another, may not be. That's what we are seeing around in the Western world mainly. We are seeing it. If a husband and a wife live together for 10 years, a big miracle. They change so many wives, they change so many husbands. So it's on a very shaky ground they're leading life. But Vedas say no. If you want to enjoy life to the brim, if you want to enjoy even sex, that's excellent. But remember, there are three dimensions: physical, mental, and spiritual. And enjoy it fully. If you forget any dimension, to that extent you are losing the enjoyment what you could have got as a human being. This is very, very important to have to think. So, when they come to an understanding that we shall between ourselves build up the mental and spiritual companionship, physical thing is always there, that I'm not leaving it out. That understanding between the two is what is called as Vivaha Samskaara. It's not enforced by any external agency, by our elders. Vedas say, you as a matured person, and are able to think, you choose your partner for this. It gives that freedom. As a youth, they have got that responsibility, they have got that opportunity to choose your partner and build up this mental and spiritual relationship. You choose. Don't get coerced. Don't worry about any force, other things. You choose your partner. See how rational it is. Vedas say you choose your partner. It gives the responsibility and it gives the freedom. In Western culture, of course, they exercise this freedom, but do it very wrongly and temporarily. That's the sorry aspect of it. Because they don't know the background of it and they know only the physical side of it. Mere physical side gives animal pleasure, but not human pleasure. Human pleasure is 3 times the animal pleasure. Why 3 times? 3 dimensions. Not just physical, it's physical, mental, and spiritual. So it has to be threefold. So where we could have got a threefold enjoyment, threefold pleasure, we are compromising with 1 pleasure. And as human beings, definitely we will not be satisfied at that. We will not be satisfied. So what happens? Oh, this relationship is not happy. Okay, leave it. Take divorce, go to another relationship. Not happy. Leave it, go to another thing. That's what is happening. Divorces are too common. Divorce is not at all an issue here. That's in Western culture. Now the same thing is spreading as an epidemic in India also. The number of divorces were too little before 3-4 decades. That is becoming commonplace. Not able to live with you, kick out. The first thing is that two persons, one male and one female, they come to an understanding that is not just physical relationship what we will have, but at the same time, we will develop a relationship at the mental level and the spiritual level. They come to an understanding. And when come to that understanding, yes, they come under what is known as the wedlock. Vivaha Samskaara. That is the first point. Then they will be faithful to the very person. That's the second point. They will be faithful. The husband will be faithful to the wife. The wife will be faithful to the husband. One for one. One wife for one husband and one husband for one wife. The reason is very clear. Because they have to develop not just a physical relationship, they have to develop a mental and spiritual relationship. So to develop a mental and spiritual relationship, it's a process. It's not one day's affair. They have to do it again and again and again. They do it, they fail, they again try, they fail, they again try. Compatibility will not be there. They have to think again, change their views, change their attitudes, change their habits, change their outlooks, change their perspectives, try again. Yes, something will be done. Happy. Other things, okay, try again in another place. So it's a continuous process and both have to be at it continuously with love and affection and faithfulness. Then it's possible for them to build up a mental relationship and a spiritual relationship. It takes time, it takes time. It's a process, it's not one day's affair. So this continuous process needs time, needs patience, needs commitment, needs friendship. That's very important. And that friendship is the last step in Saptapadi, which is part of the Vivaha Samskara. Yujyaste Saptapada Sakhasmi. Sakha is friendship. I shall be your friend forever by taking this seventh step. That's what they owe. We shall be friends. I need your cooperation. You need my cooperation. Okay, we'll give it mutually. And finally achieve that mental and spiritual relationship. Of course, physical relationship is very easy. It's not all difficult. It's animal-like. We're all animals. By instinctively we do it. That's a different thing. Instinctively doing is a physical relationship. Intelligently doing the relationship is the intelligently developing the relationship is the mental and the spiritual. Now this can happen between the same two persons over a period. And the person goes on changing their partners or having many partners. That's what we are speaking about, polygamy and polyandry. If the persons have got many partners, as far as physical thing is concerned, it makes less difference. When it comes to the mental and the spiritual thing, it can never happen. It is polygamous or polyandric. That too, especially in human being. It's a commitment, it's a friendship, it's a bondage, it's an understanding between the very two persons. Very two persons. They too only have to try, not just one day, over several years, and be the whole birth, doesn't matter. But they have to be at it, and it has to be between those two very persons only. So polygamy and polyandry is contradictory. This is harmful in achieving this. This is a point why polygamy and polyandry is not advocated in the Vedas. But in some places, extreme cases, they do accept this. They do accept this, polygamy or polyandry. Extreme. It's not a daily routine process. It is when the ratio between male and female is too upset. It happens sometimes because of so many other reasons. The female population becomes too much. The male population becomes less. The ratio is too upset. In such a case, a male is allowed to have more than one female. Exceptional. It's not a routine thing. And this answer is also very, very temporary. It's not forever. Until that ratio improves, it will be there. Maybe for a few years. Maybe for a decade. Not beyond that. Only in such places where this imbalance is there. During that period only. But if you have got two communities, where it is one way of upsetting in another place, and it's totally different in another place. Say, in one community, male population is more, female is less. We got another community where male is less and female is more. Absolutely, there is no harm between an understanding the communities, and we need not go for polyandry or polygamy. They can lead life together. In spite of it, if there is a problem, okay, then polygamy and polyandry is allowed only as a temporary relief for a problem. If this thing also fails. So polygamy and polyandry is not, on the face of it, is not a feature of human life. Because we've got three dimensions, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. Whereas the physical thing is for few minutes, and it's the end of it. It's animal-like. But in human life, you have to think of the mental and spiritual companionship also, friendship also. And that is a continuous effort on both. Both partners have to work on it continuously. So that makes humans different, and that needs a relationship between the very two persons for a long, long, long time. So this is what you have to think about, this polygamy and polyandry. In human life, it is totally not acceptable. Not acceptable, is unhealthy also. Unhealthy point that we shall just discuss about it a little. I have seen many societies where they are free and permissible. No bondage, no binding, no mental relationship, no spiritual relationship, no friendship. It's just physical. I need sex. I have it. That's all. In all such societies, we have been seeing that lot of STDs there. What's that STD? Sexually transmitted diseases. STD. Sexually transmitted diseases are very much in such societies, in such communities. I've seen it. AIDS is a product of it. HIV is a product of it. Gonorrhea is a product of it. Syphilis is a product of it. All STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, because of unhealthy sex relationship between two persons. The purpose of a male and female coming together is basically reproduction, and beyond reproduction, it is a friendship at the mental and spiritual level. That makes it complete. The relationship between a male and a female in human society. If it's gay culture, the basic thing is lost. Gays, they cannot give birth to a child. Reproduction is not there. Their sexual thing is perverted. It's a perversion. It's not natural. In nature, a male attracts female, a female attracts male. It's a principle. But in gay culture, it's not so. It's people of the same sex coming together. That spoils the very principle of reproduction. It's an unhealthy condition. And that is the root of many sexually transmitted diseases. Lesbianism is the other way around. Gay is between two males and lesbianism is between two females. How can they reproduce? It's just a perversion. It's just a sexual perversion. It's just a physical perversion. Of course, behind it, that mental distortion is also there. All this have to be thought over. Now, all this they have given a thought and finally decided that if at all a male and a female have to come together for satisfying their physical need, it's not just physical need in human relationship, you have to add two more dimensions, and that keeps them attached, that keeps them bound, and they can experience the best friendship and be happy and get the best of their sex life. Now, this background is there. This background is there before we continue on this Garbhadhana Samskara. On this background only, Garbhadhana Samskara is framed. That we'll discuss in the coming class. Shriramji.
Yes, Mahodaya.
All these series, you make it Samskara 1, Samskara 2, Samskara 3.
Astu, Mahodaya.
If I'm right, this is third or the fourth one in Samskara series.
This is third.
Third, okay. Samskara 1, Samskara 2, Samskara 3, like that you give it. Till the end, it may be Samskara 40, 50, I don't know.
Okay, Astu.
But at least people will know that there is one order, one subject on this.
Yes, definitely.
That's my idea. Okay, thank you. We'll continue day after tomorrow.
Astu. Dhanyavadam.
And on the basis of all this, we are going for Garbhadhana Samskara. Right? Thank you. And we go in detail about the same subject when we come to Vivaha Samskara.
So we are starting with Garbhadhana Samskara.
Yes, please.
Starting with Garbhadhana Samskara.
Yes, we are starting Garbhadhana Samskara, but we need some background for it. So I just touched upon a little of Vivaha Samskara. On the basis of Vivaha Samskara only we go to Garbhadhana Samskara. If there is no Vivaha Samskara, if there is no such relationship or friendship between husband and wife, Garbhadhana Samskara is meaningless.
Satyam.
So whatever is necessary as a groundwork before discussing Garbhadhana, that much I have given, but we'll see this in detail there.
Astu.
In Vivaha Samskara.
Dhanyavada.
Okay, thank you all.
Namaste.
Namaste.